Well, we've got Sarah's truck outside here and we're ready to lift this flatbed up off the chassis of the truck. We've got the forklift over on that side, skid steer on this side. Me and Andrew are going to lift this up and Sarah's going to pull the chassis out from underneath it. It had 3 U-bolt sections on each side, and then it's got a 4-inch piece of channel iron on the front side that was bolted, and then a piece of maybe 1/2-inch plate that was bolted on the back side through one of the cross members. It also had the ICC bumper welded to the truck frame, so we cut that off there as neatly as I could get it to cut. I don't know if I've got to cut anything off this frame yet or not. I've got to get some measurements and whatever. We might be cutting the frame off a little bit anyways, but we've got this ready to lift off. What we're going to do is get it up off the chassis, then we're going to set it on that undercarriage there. I've got to do some work to the truck. I'm going to start putting the PTO on it and getting a hoist on there. I've got to relocate this air tank, probably just flip the brackets around the other way and mount this air tank out on this side. So we'll go ahead and try to get balanced underneath this, try to get it centered so that when we go to lift it, it is centered on these forks here. So we've got a plan put together. Sarah's just going to pull out after we get it lifted up. We'll run it up, we'll weigh the chassis. It was 25.3 with the flatbed on there. After you pull on the scale, we'll get a weight and bring it back down and pull it inside here. All right? Okay, you ready? All right, so we got to get underneath the center. You're probably going to want to line up with this light right here, okay? The front's going to be a little heavier than the back because of the headache rack. All right, we'll have to try it, see how it lifts, see how it stays on the forks, depending on if we're centered or not. You might have to reposition. There's Timmy. That turbo did the trick on that truck. We put that on here a little while ago. Alright, that was caught a little bit. That was pinched on there. Oh, well, we had a, must be, yeah, there was one wire. I didn't see this wire here. This must have went to the marker lights. So that got ripped out. So she's gonna run up and weigh it. Go up and weigh it. Yeah, you can go around. Go ahead. So we'll get this setting on that undercarriage there, and yeah. So I don't know where this wire went to, but we're gonna have to figure out where it was hooked. I thought they would have ran all the marker lights down there. So we're gonna go ahead and back that undercarriage in underneath it there. We had one wire that wasn't hooked up. Hold on a minute here. We had one wire that I forgot to unhook. I don't know where that was sitting in the chassis here, but we'll have to find that. Here is what the chassis looks like without the flatbed on there. It was bolted here, welded there. and they injured this cross member with the forks coming in to it, but that's all right. We're gonna have a tail hinge on here, so that's gonna take up the strength of that cross member, but we've got to get these bolts back in to place there. So I've got to find where that wire went to. Here it is, right here it is, right there. So that's no big deal. It was a wire that ran down the length of the frame and it hooks into the back there. So, well, let's get this undercarriage under there and set it down on top of that. Well, we're gonna park this thing out of the way. Again, this is 24 foot, 6 inches long. The deck is 8 foot wide. It's got 6 of these ratchet binders on there. Comes with 6 U-bolt sets, 3 pairs to secure it down on the truck frame. And then it also has an ICC bumper on there. Looking to get $4,500 out of this flatbed. Give me a holler. Send me an email at farmingfixingandfabricating@gmail.com if it's something that you're interested in. The headache rack is 5'10", I believe it is, tall, made out of 4-inch rectangular tube. Those are 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch there, 2x2. Judging by the radius there, that's got to be at least 3/16. And judging by that radius on that, that's probably 1/8 inch. And then 3/16 or 1/4 up top there. So we're gonna go ahead and park this thing out of the way. Again, if anybody's interested in that, that's what it is. So it's got a couple of ladders on it as well. There's one on each side. They pull out and they're both straight as well here. So that's kind of handy. Get on the flatbed. So we're gonna go ahead and park this out of the way, and we're gonna get working on getting that PTO installed. All right, we got ready to put the PTO on this truck, and they sent us the wrong one. So I sent Sarah out to get this the other day, and it wouldn't have helped if I had noticed it earlier or not, because she got back here after closing time Friday night. That there is a 6-bolt PTO, and we need a 10-bolt. That's a Muncie PTO, and the one that we need, that would go on the side of a standard transmission. So we've got to touch base with them on Monday to get the right PTO for it. So we're going to go ahead and put the hoist together. Now when these hoists are shipped, they're shipped with the cylinders kind of laying in the frame there, just so that they can stack multiple units on top of each other. So we've got the strapping all off of the hoist. Now when they ship these, they kind of look like this one over here. Everything's all strapped down, the tail hinge, small parts box, and the prop rods. So we've got everything kind of thrown on this hoist, and we're going to go ahead and put this one here together. We just got to drop the cylinders down and bolt them. We got to make up some hydraulic hoses and whatever, and then we can set this on the truck, drill the holes. We're going to have to move that air tank, and we'll get the tail hinge on there. So let's go ahead and get these cylinders mounted. Okay, bud, I gotta turn this over like that. Oh. Okay, that's pretty good. Alright, that's good. Now we can pull the blocks of wood out, okay? Alright, the blocks of wood. Go ahead. You ready? All right, we have the cylinders installed where they need to be and how they need to be. Now we need to make some quick measurements on this truck here, figure out exactly where on the frame that we can set this hoist. Now the way the hoist is sitting right now, if the front of the truck was right where my left hand is, that would be mounted standard. If it's turned around the other way and that's to the rear, that's mounted in reverse. So we'll have to make some quick measurements here. We're either going to be setting it on the back side of this cross member, or we're going to be setting it on the front side. Either way, this tank is in the way. So we'll make some measurements. We'll start getting our tank off of there. We'll have to get some air lines lengthened and whatever. So let's go ahead and pull some measurements, right, Bob? All right, we've got everything outside here now because we're going to go ahead and set the hoist on. And we're going to be somewhere in here with the tail hinge. This is 22.5 foot of frame. So that's 22.5 foot to the cutting edge here, 22 there. And with where we need to mount this hoist to get the dump angle we need to be between 171 inches from where we're going to mount the tail hinge to 187. 187 inches, the mount is 50 degrees of dump angle, and 171 is 55 degrees of dump angle. You need at least 50. 55 is great. So the air tank, or the air dryer, is sitting on the other side of the frame. That was mounted on the inside here. We unbolted the bracket. We've got that moved to the outside. I don't have anything bolted up because I have to put the hoist mount on here. We need to be able to get the mag drill in place, and we need to be able to drill holes and match everything to get that hoist mount bolted to the frame. So this rust that's sitting on top of the frame is just from the flatbed. I have cleaned this off with a Scotch-Brite pad on this side, and the damn frame rail is like brand new. So we're obviously gonna wash this after we get everything all mounted. They test fire these cylinders, and we've got some oil on the outside of everything there. So once we get everything kind of all into place, we'll hose it down and make everything look like brand new here. So I'll set you guys up. Here's how I have the air dryer mounted for now. I just need to take these lines off and turn them 180 degrees or so, and then that air dryer is going to mount right here. However, like I was saying, our angle irons are going to bolt to the frame, and then we'll put the hydraulic valve body right here so that you can operate the hoist and the tailgate right from the outside of the truck for like dumping at an auger or whatever. You can just grab the hydraulic lever to raise the hoist. So we're going to set that hoist on there with a forklift. We'll set it into place, and then we'll just back the forklift out from underneath it.